Oliver's Family Reunion. Oliver the Great Western Engine had not been his usual self for the past few days. He knew what was wrong with him, but he didn't want to talk to anyone about it because he didn't want to waste their time. Not even Toad could convince him to confess his feelings.
Are you sure you're okay, Mr. Oliver?
I'd rather not talk about it, Toad.
Oh, if you're sure.
But one day, Duck decided it had gotten out of hand. He decided to ask Oliver what was bothering him.
Oliver, are you sure you're okay? You've hardly talked to anyone all week.
I'm fine, Duck, really. It's just that there has been something on my mind. But I don't know if you'd understand.
Come on, Oliver, you can tell me. I'm your friend. I promise, you're in good buffers right now.
Alright. Well, I don't want to sound ungrateful for this, but I've been thinking about Olivia.
Olivia? Who's Olivia?
She was my sister. We worked together on the Great Western. We were always there for each other. We would comfort each other if we were sad, and Olivia would always tell me a story before we settled down for the night. But then came the day when we were all sent for scrap. Olivia just told me to never give up and keep on moving. Those were the last words she spoke to me. I never saw her again. Oliver was beginning to cry. Duck felt awful after hearing this.
Oh, Oliver, I'm really sorry to hear that. She sounded like a really nice engine.
But to make matters worse, Harry and Bert rolled up on their way to collect some scrap iron. When they saw Oliver, they spotted a chance for a tease.
Hey, Bert, look at this! Old Ollie here ain't as tough as we thought. Oh yeah, pity that sister of yours never stuck around, Oliver. We'd probably throw you both to the cutter's torch.
This made Oliver feel even worse. But Duck was having none of it.
Oi, leave him alone, you two. How would you like if you lost one another, eh? Now why don't you just buzz off?
All right. Keep your buffers on. Sheesh, what's bitten him?
Don't listen to them, Oliver. Those two clearly have the emotional intelligence of a stone.
Mr. Duck's right, Mr. Oliver. At least you've got us to talk to.
Thanks, guys. But at the same time, it's just not the same without me knowing where Olivia even is. Maybe she did get scrapped after all. And Oliver puffed sadly away. Just then, Edward and Percy puffed up next to Duck.
What's the matter with Oliver?
When Duck told them about Oliver, both Edward and Percy felt really sorry for him. But then, Edward remembered something.
Well, I do happen to know where there's another engine of Oliver's class being preserved. The Fat Controller probably knows it too.
Edward, you're a genius! I'll go and speak to the Fat Controller about it.
I like your thinking, Duck. He's definitely going to love it.
Well, there is a chance it might be the engine you're referring to. Pleasure to help, Duck.
I always appreciate it, Edward. What will we do without you?
And Duck hurried away to find the Fat Controller. A few days later, Murdoch was at Knapford Station when he heard an unfamiliar whistle. Then, he saw a small green tank engine who looked just like Oliver puff up next to the platform.
Excuse me, could you tell me the way to the Little Western Branch line?
Yes, it's just over the other way.
Oh, great. Oliver's gonna be so happy when he sees me.
Wait, you know Oliver?
Why, yes, I'm his sister. I'm gonna go now. Oh, and thanks for the directions.
No problem. Who would have thought Oliver had a sister? You learn something every day, don't you, Murdoch?
A little later, the Fat Controller asked Oliver to come to Tidmouth Halt, as he said he had a surprise for him. Oliver was very confused, but when he arrived, he saw Duck at the platform.
Hello, Oliver. I'm glad you came here. There's someone here who'd like to see you.
Then, the engine whom Murdoch had met puffed up next to Duck. Oliver's mouth dropped. Olivia? Is that you?
Hello, Oliver. It's so good to see you again.
How are you? I don't understand.
You have Duck to thank for this, Oliver. He told me how much you were missing your sister, and when I found out that she has been preserved, I couldn't resist asking her owner if she could visit for a few days. I can already tell that this has done more than enough to cheer you up.
Oh, thank you so much, Duck. Oh, and this is my brake van Toad, Olivia. I met him while I was escaping from the scrapyard.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Olivia.
You too, Toad. So, Oliver, how's life been treating you here on Sodor?
Oh, far too much to tell. Why don't you come with me? Oh, and thanks again for this, Duck. What would I do without you?
You are most welcome, Oliver.
And remember, it doesn't matter if I'm far away from you. I'll still be there even if I'm not in the same location as you.
Oliver smiled the biggest smile he'd done in ages. Olivia spent a few more days on Sodor, and she started to get on really well with the other engines. Even Gordon took a liking to her. But after a week, Olivia had to go back to her own railway. Oliver was very sad that Olivia had to go home, but he knows now that he still has a surviving relative who will always be there for him, even if she doesn't live on the same railway.